Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Happy holiday.
Happy holiday. You're not supposed to say that, Andy.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to say? You can't say happy.
I don't fucking know. I mean, I say Happy Memorial Day because, fucking whatever, but
I'm being dead serious. I don't know what else you would say. Because you would say Happy MLK Jr. Day or something.
yeah.
You would use that in
Sure.
the same regard. Well, it is a holiday.
It's a holiday. That's all that matters. We're off.
We're not.
We're not. We are off, but we're working anyway because all we do is give.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's a little different, I think, for me now with the family on these holidays to pod. Plus holidays are different when you have families because kids in the weekend are just like, will you just get away from me for a bit?
Right. Yeah. All my parent friends are always like, the weekends are the worst because then you actually have a parent.
Well, I think it's easier when they get older because then they can just play with each other.
Yeah.
Right. You're just like,
but no shipping them out to daycare on Memorial Day. They do like a double price daycare for holidays. Is there like a skeleton crew there that works for overtime?
I wouldn't be surprised. No, there's not. But the daycare thing has gained a lot of traction. A lot of people coming out of the woodworks. Team Ruther on this. It's glorious to see. It's glorious to hear. It's the thing nobody wants to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about healthcare and all this, which are very valid things to talk about. A lot of problems we have, but like nobody wants to be like, hey man, I can't afford this shit. I gotta be slanging rocks to send my kids to daycare. But yeah, no, it's good. We'll spend the day with the fam. I was telling Prano before the show, I introduced Isla to like outside of Papa shot like basketball this weekend, which was hilarious. The basketball court in my neighborhood. And now she wants to play. She looked at me. She said, "Fuck Angel Reese. I want to be Caitlin Clark." I was like, "Oh
no! Oh, here we go. She's already racist."
Yeah, she hopped in on it. I was like, "Wow, already you're doing that." By the way, quick update on the WNBA. We have somebody who has volunteered to go and then report back for us on a game. I think he went this weekend. Shout out to Michael Majid.
He went this weekend?
I think he said he was going
to a Sparks game.
I think he said that.
Listen,
I think he said he was going with his. He has a girlfriend. He said he was going with his girlfriend, and he was sending me a screenshot of tickets. He's like, man, look how cheap these are. We're pretty close. He's like, I will give you guys a full report. I said, we'd love that.
He's gonna be like, all right, Michael Majid calling in with the Dirty Sports WNBA report. He's like, they actually do pantyhose full of nachos. I ate those.
Didn't really watch the game.
Thanks, full of nachos.
Skims themed nachos.
Yeah. They were like, what size do you want? Do you want a thong of nachos? Do you want a granny panty of nachos? Do you want a boy shorts of nachos?
Yeah, so he offered to give the honest feedback.
The Dirty Sports WNBA report.
Yeah, which I said, look, I'm all for it, man. You can do our dirty work. Sure. Give me the full report.
Well, it's funny, like you said, it's like I'd be down like as an experience, but then you remember how like, and this is honestly probably the way the WNBA should be, but like remember the Globetrotters would like come to your local shit. They
Yeah.
did tours. It's not like you didn't have to go see the Globetrotters at like Madison Square Garden when I was a kid. You could also see them at like the Westchester County Center. It's like,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm interested. I'd be interested in like a WNBA game in terms of like, all right, from a courtside experience, what's it like? But then I'm like, I'm not driving to downtown to LA for it. Absolutely not. No, like 0%. I guess maybe if it came to the Civic Center that's down the block from me.
Convenience.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest. I mean, I've said this. That's how I feel about a lot of sports now at this point, at this juncture
Right.
in my life, just in general. Like, I mean, I've made it known about football. Like, football's fun, but like, dude, it's an entire day, man. Entire day. And I'm like, it's just such a good product to watch on TV. Now, I think baseball is different. Baseball to me is just, I struggle to watch that on TV. So it's like, I'd much rather be there. I mean, same for basketball, but basketball is still, I think, a quality product. Like when you watch it.
Now, did you spend the weekend watching the NBA on TV?
I have watched a lot.
Did you turn off the Knicks game last night when they were down 20?
No, I did, man. You know what I did? They were up. I timed it. I basically watched the whole game. Halftime, I took a shower, threw on the old, little pajama pants.
Oh, that's too bad. You missed some great stuff at halftime. This game over.
I did see Chuck say that.
They never winning nothing.
I did see Chuck say they're about to get run out of the gym.
Yep. Draymond Green, everybody. I don't know if you saw did you see the Draymond Green Cancun, can you afford it fight?
No, I didn't really watch much.
That was at Madison Square Garden after Draymond got into it with a fan because the fan asked him, how was Cancun? And Draymond Green responded, can you afford it? Which I find hilarious because if you're a New York Knicks fan at Game 2 at Madison Square Garden, you are probably worth more than a 15-time all defensive NBA player.
Well, I don't know about that, but they can afford Cancun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can afford fucking $7 apps that's in your frogs.
Yeah, no, I had it on briefly. Like I said, then I went upstairs, saw Charles be like, they're gonna get run out of the gym. And then I knew even like that, and I know Reggie talked about it, even like that 3 at the end to get to 13. I knew, I was like, they're right there. So then I did not turn it off. I went outside, got the fire pit, lit the fire pit, lit a bowl. I said, let's watch the second half out here.
Ruth are going old school, analog style.
I lit it and I had the laptop and I just said, this is relaxing. Look, let's just sit by the fire pit, smoke a little bowl, and then sure enough, man. I mean, every single one of these games has been a game, like at the end.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people, I have a lot of friends of mine who have been checking in throughout the series, wanting my takes on everything that's going on, which is, by the way, let me just say this. I have, my good friends, my best friends know that they can text me at any time. But I gotta say, and I'm sure you deal with this when like it's a Cincinnati thing or whatever, especially the people who don't know like that you're a former Bengals fan turned Bengals hater turned secret Bengals fan turned Bengals hater turned secret Bengals fan again. Like a lot of people probably can't keep up with your like thing. So like on the Bengals Super Bowl run, you're probably getting a lot of texts. It's like, I wish I could tell the people who are like medium friends of mine, hey man, I get it. I'm the Knicks fan, you don't have to text me. Like, I know you think you're texting me, but we don't understand it's on the other end. I have 20s of you texting me.
What type of text?
Just 20 different fucking randos every Knicks game. What do you think? I think I'm watching the game, dude. So that's annoying. But a lot of people checking in with me yesterday, and I said the same thing. These games, I was like, the scary part is, and it's why even, I always say about these series, no matter who wins 2-0 or 2, whatever, when a series is 2-1, that's as close as it could be, right? But these games have been so close. Every game has come down to the wire that losing that game 1 the way we did now just looms over me so hard. Like now it's like, I don't know. In a series that really felt like it was Knicks in 6, now feels like it's going to be a 7-game series. And my God, it would be shocking to me if the Knicks won with that being one of the games. So I don't have a ton of confidence right now. I think the Knicks could do it. It's 2-1. It's as close as it could be. But going into Indiana and winning both the games in Indiana is going to be a tough task. I'll feel a whole lot better if they somehow manage to do it on Tuesday. But there's just a couple different things in this series, including the blowing game 1 they did the way they did. And then also the Tibbs, the criticism on Tibbs forever is plays his guys too much, blah, 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 blah. Now listen, Jalen Brunson doesn't think he played too many minutes. Josh Hart doesn't think he gets played too many minutes. Mikal Bridges doesn't think he gets played too many minutes. So like the whole criticism of you guys are getting played too many minutes, I don't think anybody's getting played too many minutes that doesn't think that they're getting played too many minutes, but when you're playing your starters all these minutes, it's because you're not playing bench guys. And now we're in a series where the Pacers are so deep that Tibbs is now putting guys in the game. I haven't seen Delonte Wright I literally don't know the last time I saw him on the floor for the Knicks. That wasn't like a blowout game. Like he's in at the end of games sometimes because he's a vet. So they usually play like the younger guys at the end of games if it's a blowout. I've literally can't tell you the last time I've seen him in actual Knicks minutes. And Tibbs is like, well, seems like as good a time as ever to see if he's still got it. And you're like, fuck, dude. Maybe we could have had a little forethought in getting some guys some meaningful minutes, maybe in regular season NBA games.
It's pretty impressive that they won that game, considering not only that they were down, but just about the depth and the foul trouble yesterday.
Listen, here's another thing. I have a twofold question. And again, I'm not a ref complainer guy. I don't believe in Scott Foster, the extender. I don't believe in blah, blah, blah. It feels like Karl Anthony Towns is the NBA equivalent of Terrell Owens not getting in on the first ballot Hall of Fame. Explain to me. I'm not the world's biggest Karl Anthony Towns. Never have been a fan. Never have been. Never will be. Do I love a guy? Do I understand why the Knicks made the move to get him when they made the move to get him without having a starting center going into the season with Mitchell Robinson hurt and not being able to keep Isaiah Hartenstein, who they really wanted to keep for financial reasons? I've been on the if the Knicks still had Isaiah Hartenstein, we're winning the championship since day one of this season. I'm not the world's biggest Karl Anthony Towns fan. That being said, the guy might have the worst whistle in the NBA. He might have the worst whistle in the NBA. And I'm trying to figure out now what it is. I don't believe that the NBA wants a small market Indiana Pacers team to play the OKC Thunder in the finals, but the worst whistle in the NBA. And also just generally, Stan Van Gundy even said it yesterday with whatever it was, 10 seconds left in the game on Mikal Bridges fouls. He's like, Why is that all of a sudden a foul now? You've been letting this game play. And it gets me to the point where the one conspiracy theory, the type of conspiracy theories I do believe, because here's the problem with league-wide conspiracy theories. Why does the league want the Lakers to be good? Right? That's the problem with the league is forcing the Luka trade to late. Why does the league is a collection of owners. So they don't no ownership is going to say, yeah, we'll be worse so that one of the premier teams in the league could be better. It doesn't serve the Houston Rockets for the Lakers to be better. It doesn't serve the OKC Thunder for the Lakers to be better. What does serve the league is James Dolan not believing in revenue sharing and not wanting to participate in it, and the whole league hating James Dolan because he doesn't want to share their money with them, much in the way that all of the league hates Jerry Jones. So now we're in a situation where I'm like, are we now looking at like some sort of weird anti-Knicks bias? Because it doesn't feel aggressive, but it's just like, hey man, if it's going to be like, and again, I said this about the Detroit series, I'll say this about this series. I don't give a fuck if you want to call it loose. I don't give a fuck if you want to call it tight. I don't give a fuck if you want to call it medium. But call it consistent. Karl Anthony Towns was fouled 4 times on that one play before they overturned it and made it an offensive foul because he was like, all right, at this point, I'm done with you fouling me. I'm going to take your arm off of my body. And they're like, the 11 fouls by Pascal Siakam were deemed incidental. It was the final foul by Karl Anthony Towns that we have determined is a foul. I'm like, what? And there is a little bit about the Knicks in this series that's confusing, but it's very specific to Karl Anthony Towns, which has made it hard for him to be on the floor at times. You can't have we at this point can't have Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns on the floor at the same time because these guys are getting into foul trouble. And there's some part of me that's like, oh, I like when that one thing I do like, I think it plays right into the Knicks' hands, is when the Pacers lose their motivation to score and win the game and make their motivation, we're going to get Karl Anthony Towns or Jalen Brunson another foul. I like it when they lose their strategy and they start focusing on, this is how we win. We got to get these guys, because we saw it yesterday with Nesmith. He literally rolled his own ankle trying to get another foul on Jalen Brunson, which I don't root for injuries, but that was karma.
I think refs are just, I think a problem across sports is that maybe refs have always just been suspect, but now we have the technology to put a microscope on it. It's like everything is so heavily scrutinized, especially with social media. And it's almost as if the refs, while they're supposed to be the best in their field, obviously if they're professional refs, regardless of sport, it's like they can't keep up with, again.
That's the thing. I guess that's kind of my issue with sort of the culture around the conversation around refereeing in general. That's why I hate the not this call at this time thing, the not this call against this guy. That's not a call you make against Michael Jordan. That's not a call you make against LeBron James. That's not a call. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets that call 10 times out of 10. What is that?
Yeah.
And then you get into a situation, for example, and again, I'm not a huge Karl Anthony Towns fan, but Karl Anthony Towns is a offensive first player. He's not playing a ton of defense. His value is he's a stretch 4. He's a stretch 5. He's going to get the ball on the outside. He's going to shoot. He's going to drive in and he's going to get fouled. And if that's not happening, it gets to the point where you go, oh, well, this guy doesn't have a ton of value if he can just get fouled on every play. And that what was interesting is I don't know if this was the directive or whatever, but all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, they're like, okay, if Karl Anthony Towns gets fouled on his arm while shooting, we're actually going to call it. And he fucking took the game over.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have these NBA conspiracy theories. My thing is more like, I'm sure you've seen it, the zesty Karl Anthony Towns mixes. Like, is this a gay thing? Are NBA referees homophobic? Like, is this like a
where did that start from? I of course I've seen it.
Is this a like Michael Sam can be held on every play kind of situation, or what's going on here?
Where did the whole?
I mean, I think it was just at some point there was enough material of him. I mean, do you even see the one on that one pass he had last night?
Yeah.
It's like, but now this is what I'm saying. Like,
You can slow things down. You can screenshot, and it can make anybody look. You can fit a narrative.
That's my thing. Is like, I don't believe in the big conspiracy things, but Terrell Owens not getting in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot isn't a conspiracy. They didn't conspire.
Yeah.
Against him, right? They each one of those writers didn't like him because he was mean to them. And now I'm wondering if, like, Karl Anthony Towns has been in the league a while. He obviously, in addition to not getting, is a bit of a bitch. It's a bit zesty, you know? So it feels like maybe there's a like, we're just sick of hearing this guy whine thing. But I'm just like, hey man, I just want to I'd like just call it consistent. And I'm not talking about consistent Knicks versus Pacers. I'm talking about first whistle to last whistle consistency. Why is the Mikal Bridges foul at the end a foul that's not been a foul the whole game? This is not a New York bias or Indiana bias thing. I'm just talking about keep it consistent so we know what kind of fucking game we're playing. That's the frustrating part for me. And I was watching the game last night at a bar and I was saying it both ways. I go, even on Pacer shots, why is that a foul there? It wasn't a foul 10 seconds ago. So I want to see this series continue. The longer it goes, obviously, this at Knicks in 6 at this point it's not dead, but it's very unlikely. So it would just be crazy if a series that literally so far in 3 games has come down to final shots.
Yeah,
gets determined one way or the other here and there and ever. Because, like, you know, that game 1 is fucking, you know, haunting us right now. So I don't know. I don't have, I would say I'm 60-40 on the Pacers right now, 60 or 58-42 or 62-38, like, because I think obviously the chances of the Knicks running 4 in a row is very unlikely. The Knicks running, you know, the Knicks coming back from 3-1, very unlikely. You know, there's like a 3-5% chance in my mind that that's possible. So we now come down to 1 game essentially for the series. And, you know, I got the Knicks in it's a 60-40 game 4 for me.
Well, obviously if they lose yesterday, that series is over.
Yeah.
That's why, like, even though they've come back a lot, I was surprised that they basically took over the fourth quarter. And
with Brunson on the bench.
Yeah.
Which is the whole other thing, you know. I think Deuce McBride needs some run regardless of the foul situation. The Landry Shamet minutes, I certainly prefer them to the campaign minutes at this point.
He played fine.
The Delonte Wright minutes, like, I don't hate. It's more of a just like, man, crazy time to pull us out. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals feels like a weird time to try new recipes.
How did you feel about Hart not starting?
I'm okay with that. Here's why. I'm the world's biggest Josh Hart fan. The world's biggest Josh Hart fan. Like, I fucking love Josh Hart. The reason I'm okay with Josh Hart not starting is because the Knicks have an advantage when Mitchell Robinson is on the floor. So now you have, all right, so now you're penciling Mitchell Robinson into the starting lineup. Also in the starting lineup, without a doubt, is going to be Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby. So now you got 4. So now you're going, are we starting Karl Anthony Towns or are we starting Josh Hart? Strategically, if you look at the way the Knicks played last night, you could go, oh, well, why don't we just start Josh Hart? And now we get Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns on this 2 defensive liabilities, but great offensive player mix where like they overlap for a little bit, but when one of them's in the game, it's their game. And when the other's in the game, it's their game. The problem with that is, and when you're talking about a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, who has been a quote unquote star in this league at some point, he's going to feel some sort of way about not starting, as opposed to Josh Hart, who doesn't give a shit. I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he's not happy he's not starting, but he doesn't give a shit. And the other thing about Josh Hart is if you sit Josh Hart, I mean, you talk about an Iron Man and a guy who's he'll play 75 minutes in a game. If that game on quadruple overtime and he didn't foul out, he'll play it. So if you get 2 quick fouls on Brunson, or you get 2 quick fouls on Mitchell Robinson, or you get 2 quick fouls on Cat or whatever, you could put Josh Hart in that game at the 1-minute mark of the first quarter and not take him out again. And so I just think it's a no-brainer that that's the guy. And I said that 3 games ago. I said that in the Boston series. I was like, I said that to a buddy of mine. I was like, it feels like the only starting rotation adjustment that you can make if you want to go to the big bully ball is Mitchell Robinson in, Cat, the wing stop duo, and Brunson. But I think Deuce McBride needs some run. I love that Landry Shamet is a veteran and can come in and do his fucking thing. So that's good. Like, it's the crazy campaign minutes last game. It's the crazy, and Dante Wright played fine, but it's just like, where is this? Like, it's a wild time to try some shit. But at the same time, you have to match depth with depth. That's the one thing with the Pacers is they continue to go deep. They're not going to adjust to your rotations. They're going to play a ton of guys because it keeps them fresh. They have 5 different fucking, sets that they run and guys that they throw out there. It's like the game is different when Halliburton is in than when McConnell's in. The game is different than when neither of those guys are in. Like, they're running 5 different fucking strategies here. So you have to find a way as the Knicks to keep your guys fresh while also not losing your own offensive personality.
I wonder how many people went to the Indy 500 and the Pacers game.
Yeah.
Last night. I saw there was only the 4th time that's ever happened, which been on the same day. Because obviously the Pacers have to make a deep run.
Racers and Pacers.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I bet there's a dude who just started. There has to be a guy who's like, I'm boozing. I'm tailgating the Indy 500. And I'm going to make it.
And then I'm going to drive over to the fucking arena.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to drive home. I've been drinking for 14 hours. Just getting absolutely bombed. This is a story.
Now it's so weird. Like, they had the guy there. They were showing the guy. I don't think I can name a single IndyCar driver, including the guy they showed yesterday who won.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow that at all.
Because it's different than F1.
Well, it's all different, and then it's different
Yeah.
from NASCAR.
Yeah.
300,000 people were there.
Did you see the thing I posted on my story on Instagram? The Knicks parking, Pacers parking thing.
No.
It was going around yesterday,
I
but
did, I
there was
forget.
a sign that said Pacers parking $10 or $30 or whatever, and it said Knicks parking $100. Knicks fan parking $100. And I was like, you know what? If you're a Knicks fan there, you're probably like, wow, $114 for a game ticket and parking. This is way better than me having to pay $2,500 to sit on the roof of Madison Square Garden.
Little,
Do I get a free soda with this too?
little dig, huh? Little dig,
Yeah.
little dig at quality of life, huh? Hey man, don't be hating. You know, I mean, let's pull it up here. Don't be mad. The sun tonight is setting at 8:53. Means I got daylight till about 9:30 almost.
No, it's not what's funny to me is they were like, we're going to troll Knicks fans. And it's like, that's literally what it parks if you go to Times Square for a fucking day. It's $100. Like,
But that's a problem.
oh yeah, it's a problem. But also it's like, if you're gonna troll us, make it something that we don't pay on a daily basis.
That's the market to be in. I always thought about that.
They're like, renting a penthouse in one of our luxury downtown buildings for Pacers fans, $400. For Knicks fans, $2,500. Knicks fans like, okay, still not moving to Indiana.
Own a parking lot, man.
Oh yeah.
I used to always think about those in Venice Beach. I'm like, oh my God, how much money?
Well, that's the thing with the Dodgers. Like, the whole Dodgers sale, it would have gone through a lot earlier, but McCourt refused to give up parking.
Yeah, that's right. McCourt wanted to hold on to that. Like that old former gas station right by my old apartment.
Oh yeah.
How many cars they packing in there on the weekends? Charging $30 a day. Straight cash.
The gas station / bike rental spot.
You know, when I moved in there in 2008, it's still, at that point, it wasn't even a gas, like it had just stopped being a gas station, which that would have been a weird location for a gas station.
Yeah.
Abbott
Kinney was an oil man.
Was he?
Yeah.
I've been really wondering lately about Savage Town. Like massive curiosity. I don't know where it's come from. Like, what's going on there? Is it the same old thing?
Feels like some things change, some things stay the same. You know,
Mayor's still there.
Is he?
I'm asking.
You're not in touch with the mayor at all? When's the
I
last
told
time
you he broke up with me as a friend.
Oh, that's right.
He broke up with me as a friend.
He's got to still be there. I mean, are you like Facebook friends?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
He pulled the plug on even being social media connections.
I don't know if he unfriended or unfollowed. He just, I mean, I think I've shared those texts with you. He sent these.
He sent these PR firm written missives from the mayor, from the desk of mayor of Savage Town.
But remember, they were all like, there's only so much water. Like it was bizarre. It was like, there's only so much water you can give to a plant. And I was just like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. I don't think I've ever said this on the show. Yeah, guys, Dirtballs, just so you know, to call back, he literally friendship broke up with me. Never had that happen.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. It was maybe he was going through something, but like, yeah, that was like 4 years ago. I don't know what would happen if I reached back out. Like, hey man, are we still broken up? Or
hey man, are you still the mayor? Hey man, I haven't kept up with local elections. Are you still the mayor of Savage Town?
Who's living in my apartment? How many? The bigger question is, how many people have lived in my apartment since I left?
Better question is, how many people live in your apartment?
Ooh,
Over, under 1.5.
over. It's like a couple.
Because we're living here in Savage Town. And all the volleyball nets have come down.
I was going through old photos and I came across the one where there was that like homeless dude like draped over by the side of that I found by the side of the hot tub. The hot tub was like green. Just like you're like, what happened in here last night? Yeah, man, I think about it for sure. I'm gonna say Pacers in 6.
Pacers in 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's not a crazy
What
prediction.
What is it about what you've seen so far that's got you there?
I think the depth is so huge, and then obviously the Pacers can play so fast.
Listen, my thing,
and I think they win the next game. So my point is, like, I think they
Yeah.
win the next game, and then New York takes the next one at home.
Rick Carlisle is a great coach.
He's underrated.
Always has been. I think he embarrassed himself last year with the small market thing, and I would never want that guy to be a coach of my team. But he's always been a great X's and O's coach, and they have it. It's tough because, like we were talking about, Thibodeau being able to adjust. It's like even if you are a good coach, even if you're smartly, whatever, you're putting in guys that you have never had in this position before because you refuse to play them up to this point. It just feels like the Knicks might get burned, not by a lack of depth, because every team's got 15 guys or whatever, but a lack of, you haven't given them the run. Now, that being said, and I'll just say this, and I know Tyrese Halliburton pulled out the choke thing in game 1, and I know Tyrese Halliburton has been on a rampage ever since he was voted most overrated player in the NBA. All I want is Tyrese Halliburton to shoot. All I want is Tyrese Halliburton to take over the game. All I want is the ball not in Neesmith's hands, not in McConnell's hands, not in Pascal Siakam's hands for sure, not in who's the center whose name I'm blanking on right now.
Miles Turner.
Not Miles Turner. I hate it when Miles Turner shoots. I hate it when Neesmith shoots. I hate it when fucking Nembhard shoots. I hate it when Obi Toppin shoots. I hate it when Pascal Siakam shoots. I know. Tyrese Halliburton isn't overrated, and he hits some big shots whenever you're up 11. But I've never wanted a guy to shoot more. And I'm like, the only shot he wants to take is the going backwards 3. I would also tell, if I was on the Knicks coaching staff, and I'm not saying I'm a better coach than Tom Thibodeau, but I would be like, hey, he doesn't want to go around you. He's not going to go around you. And if he does go around you, stay on your guys. He's going to pass. Tyrese Halliburton ain't going to the basket. He ain't going to the basket. It's crazy, but that was the game 2 was the Pascal Siakam game. Game 3, they still really don't have an answer for him. They still really don't have an answer for Miles Turner, who can like draw guys out. And yet at the same time, they get so Halliburton gets so in his fucking, like, I think he was 2 for 8 from 3 yesterday or whatever it was. But it's like, goddamn, all I want is fucking Halliburton to try to take over.
Well, that's the other thing I would say. Them in 6 is just like they can spread the wealth way better, right? Their depth. You bring in a guy like, you call my doppelganger McConnell. It's like, okay, this guy's good for 10 points.
Yeah.
Like who's that on the Knicks? My point is, like, you're guaranteed. You're not guaranteed double digits from a lot of these guys.
That here's the thing. I think that's where Thibodeau has to be a little bit more reactionary. Which a lot of good coaches refuse to be because they're like, I know my shit. But then some great coaches also are reactionary. Some great coaches also do react to the other team's thing. If I was Tom Thibodeau, the McConnell minutes are the Deuce McBride minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Deuce McBride plays some fucking great defense, but he's undersized. McConnell's undersized. That's when you can get your Deuce McBride run, because Deuce McBride, this is to steal a term from Tug Coker, is more dynamic. Tug used to talk when we golf, he would be like breaking down who's going to get what fucking strokes, and he's like, yeah, but you're more dynamic. And I'm like, dude, I'm an 18 handicap. Yeah, but we can't really give you 18 because you have the ability to birdie any hole. I'm like, that's not how this works. That's not how golf handicaps work. But Deuce McBride is more dynamic. And so I would love to see the Deuce McBride minutes be reactionary to the TJ McConnell minutes, because not only can he run around with him, he can outscore him. And he's just more dynamic. He has a 3-point shot.
Yeah.
And you're spelling Jalen Brunson not just for energy, but also these fouls that they're picking up, because the Indiana Pacers are committed to getting Jalen Brunson in foul trouble almost more than they are committed to winning the game at this point, which is what I loved about yesterday.
Well, when is game?
Tuesday night. And it's the whole shebang. And I said to the 30 fucking friends who texted me since the Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals every 3 hours, what do you think's going to happen tonight? What do you think's going to happen tonight? I just said, I don't think we win both games in Indiana. And that was what was killer, not just about losing game one the way we did, but as we said when we did the episode on Friday, I was like, if they win game two, it doesn't matter. They didn't win game two. And I just don't see us winning both in Indiana. That being said, I think this Knicks team has lost one road game the whole postseason so far.
Same. Yeah, them and the Pacers, I think. They're dominating on the road.
And there's obviously, if there's, we can break down a lot about all these teams that are left, and we'll go to the West next. But one thing's for sure. This Knicks team performs better back against the wall or when they're down or whatever. They have 3 20-point comebacks in the same playoffs than they do coming to Madison Square Garden on a game one when the whole city's been celebrating for 3 days and it's bing bong and people are on top of the marquee or whatever. That's not the environment this particular Knicks team thrives in. They thrive in oh no, fucking the house is on fire, we're down 20. So I just don't think we win both games in Indiana. That being said, if there was a team to do it, this is that fucking team.
Yeah. Well, the T-Wolves, they got a much needed win, obviously. Beat the shit. That's a game. Talk about I did turn it off because I was like, this is just a blowout. I don't think they win the series. You probably don't either.
No.
But
in fact, what's amazing is we're talking about this Knicks Pacers series that's 2-1 and took a 20-point comeback for the Knicks to get to 2-1. And it happened on the road, as opposed to a Western Conference Finals, like so far holding serve, right?
Yeah.
Two home wins for the Thunder, and then and then a home win for Minnesota. I think the Knicks Pacers series is evenly matched. I think the Pacers are deeper. I think the Knicks are more talented on the top end. I think the Pacers have a better coach. I think that you can go back and forth like we just did. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are just a far better team.
Yeah.
It is, I would say it would be concerning if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. Like, how do you lose a game by 40? But I just think when you talk top to bottom, I just think they're a better team. And so it's crazy if you looked at these teams in a vacuum, or these two series in a vacuum, you'd be like, Minnesota's got a better chance of winning this series than the Knicks do based on what's happened so far. And
Yeah,
I would
but
say it's not even
I think
close.
most people would agree with what you're saying.
Right.
I think most people would agree with what you're saying.
Right.
Of course, the Knicks have a better chance. Yeah, I mean, you know how you play a team enough, you might just be a blowout. There might just be a game you just get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're in a series. Yeah, I don't really put too much into that. I mean, like I said, now if they even it, then we got a series.
For sure.
Then we got a series. But they need Anthony Edwards to just have another game. I saw what was it? Did I add this? I saw he's been fined. Have you seen this?
No.
He's been fined. Did I not? I thought I bookmarked it. Anyway, maybe I didn't. He's been fined because he was fined again. He didn't show up for the press afterwards, and then I think he dropped an F-bomb, which he's fined for that. I think he's been fined $420,000 this year.
Jesus. Nice.
Yeah, it's something insane.
$420,069.
But I think he makes $42 million.
Okay. So literally 1%.
But still, that's I always wonder, what is the NBA? What do they do with the fine fund? Where does that $420,000? Is that a lot?
WNBA. All that money. That's how they pay WNBA salaries.
The fines.
Yeah.
That would actually make sense. How much money do you think? How much money? I'm going to Google it. How much money do you think the NBA grosses in fines?
I don't know. I'm going to say $15 million.
This one's a little dated. The NBA.
Motherfucker needs to use ChatGPT.
I know I do. I have it on my team. I actually pay for the. Let me log in. I actually pay for the advance, bro. I don't fuck around. Can we log up in this bitch? Can we log into this bitch? Okay. So what exactly am I asking? How would I put that in?
I just asked ChatGPT, how much does the NBA collect in fines every year? Several $1 million in fines. During the 2023-2024 season, the league issued over $7.8 million in fines across 844 players.
Yeah, that's what I just saw actually on Google.
Notably, oh, wow.
Oh, this one's a little different. Funny. I did. How much does the NBA collect in NBA fines? It said between 10 to 20 million. Notable individual fines. Draymond Green has been fined over 1 million in his career. Maybe it does. Maybe it does support the WNBA. Just here's my thing, guys. We don't need Draymond Green on TV. We don't.
I couldn't agree more.
We don't need him on TV with that crew. Why?
Well, you know what's funny about?
I don't get it.
You know what's funny about Draymond Green is the Shaq. I think Kenny Smith of all the guys has held on to who Kenny Smith is to a pretty good degree.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Smith hasn't become a caricature of Kenny Smith as nearly as much as.
Well, he's also not the most. Those guys are large personalities,
right?
And he's not.
Shaq and Charles have become caricatures of themselves.
Sure.
They've become old head NBA guys. They've become revisionist history guys.
Mm-hmm.
They've both of them have disregarded their own actual playing careers, both guys constantly throughout their career called out for being out of shape, called out for a lack of effort, called out for all these things. And now it's like, these guys just don't try no hard no more. Back in my day, you played all the games. You played 82 games. Shaq, you missed 40 games a season during your fucking championship runs. Is Draymond Green is maybe the only player in the modern NBA whose shitty, terrible attitude and opinions match that of those guys. It's like, hey man, I didn't need your. It's like you went to Kroger and you got the 3 flavor ice cream fucking gallon, and it's just all chocolate. But they have a line break in between. It's like, well, I thought, what happened to like the Neapolitan where I get like a little vanilla and a little strawberry? No, you get chocolate, and then you get double chocolate, and then you get double, triple chocolate. Like Draymond Green is just a modern version of like, I mean, and we saw it yesterday. Like we saw it at halftime. Everybody doing they can't do it. They can't keep up. This game over. Let's all go home. We don't need to be here no more. This game over. Series over. I'm betting on Knicks to lose the second half by 415 on FanDuel. Promo code Shaq.
Well, yeah, exactly. You have a personality in Draymond that's just, dude, you're not adding you're not adding a different type of flavor to this discussion.
No.
And also, like, I've never found
everybody soft. Everybody
but also Draymond is like, you're not your personality type. Like, say what you want. Like, I agree. Like, they've turned into caricatures, and it's like an old head thing. But like, Shaq's one of the best centers of all time.
Yeah.
You know, Charles Barkley was a top 50 player. You know what I'm saying? Like, my point is, like, they're going to be very loud in their personality, but they've deserved it. Like, Draymond, you can't, you were a really good defensive player. Some would say great on teams that were led by Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
But, you know, not to like, we've spent many, many hours praising the late, great, goated Bill Walton on this podcast. But Bill Walton's at worst, what, top 3 college basketball player of all time? At worst?
I don't know.
They won 88 straight games. He won how many fucking titles? He was a 4-time All-American. He comes out. He goes into the NBA. He's an NBA MVP. He wins the only title in Portland. He obviously struggles with injuries. He comes back. He's a 6th man on a Boston team that wins a championship. And then he gets in there, and it's never like, dude, he's soft. He's like, look at the gloriousness that is today's NBA center. They shoot the 3. Their twinkly toes. They're like ballerinas back in my day. Bad feet, bad back. All of these guys, they're spinning and they're shooting. They're dribbling and they're driving. It's just so glorious to me to see the evolution of today's NBA big man. It warms my heart. I sometimes sit around with the ghost of John Wooden in my teepee and I go, oh, John, imagine back in my day if they had let me shoot 3s. If they had let me dribble between my knees, it would have been so great. It's like there's guys who celebrate and there's guys who hate. And it's just like, we didn't need to add another hater to the crew.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And it's just like, I just don't know what it adds. It doesn't add anything. So I'm going to say Thunder in 5.
5, like it. I mean, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's another 2 now. I don't think anybody's beaten the Thunder this year.
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty tough too.
Although if we do get a long Knicks Pacers series, which I think it's going to be long regardless, like 6 or 7 game series, no matter who comes out on top. Or then the Thunder Timberwolves series is a day ahead. You do get that potential longish layoff for the Thunder because the finals don't start till June 5th. So we're 10 days out, 10-ish days out plus from that right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that being said, I don't think anybody beat the Thunder this year.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, so it's a grill out weekend. We're gonna keep today's show short, guys.
Okay.
But I wanted to post something before we get out of here. We'll keep it pretty short today. Grill out weekend. Like I feel like I've changed maybe a little as I get older. The grilling out, like
okay.
Like if we're grilling out, I want to do an overrated, underrated.
Okay.
Like, what are the staples that you have to have? Now,
We're
I guess
we're okay. Take me through.
That's what I'm saying. Like size of people.
Yeah, size of people, age of people. Are we just talking about you're grilling out for you and the fam?
You and the fam. Maybe you got people coming over. Maybe you got friends and fam. I'm gonna say goated is burgers.
Goated is burgers. Here, I'll tell you kind of like.
Are you saying hot? I'm talking. Like I'm not talking steaks. Like I'm not throwing. Like you can bring steaks in, but I'm saying if you got mass people.
Okay, I'll just tell you the
10 or more people.
Prano family household. We this has actually been. We now are mimicked. So many of my friends came to Prano family barbecues, and I now have friends that use this run of show. But we weren't a big hot dog family, but they're there. They're there if you need them. Our kickoff, just to whet the appetite, sausages. My dad break out first things first.
I don't hate it.
First things first. Some Italian, some sweet Italian, some hot Italians going on the grill. And they're really going like, yeah, there's buns there if you need them. If you want a grilled bun, you're grilling your own buns. But like, there's buns there. But really, this is we're just Italian sausage people. This is just hey, you want some Italian sausage with a fork? That's the fucking method here. And also, that's just an appetizer. Don't fill it. Don't eat 10 sausages. This is just to whet your appetite. From sausages, the next round is burgers. Hamburgers, cheeseburgers. Who wants a hamburger and a cheeseburger? And this is spread out over the course. This isn't like we're all sitting down to dinner. This is like, you're having some beers, you're playing some bocce, kids are in the pool, whatever. There's a round of sausages that go out. Who wants a sausage? Come get your sausage. And then we're taking a head count. Cheese or no cheese.
Yeah.
Next round is burgers. Then this is honestly just all appetizers at this point. This is not, you haven't sat down to eat anything yet. You get a paper plate. You're just running off with a cheeseburger. You're running back in there. John's got something on fire. Grab your cheeseburger. Go watch whether or not, he's going to blow up one of the garden boxes. The final round, the dinner, we would always just do steak.
Yeah.
And then it's steak, salad, corn.
I get what you're saying. And I'm saying burgers. This is like a full multi-course meal, what you guys are bringing. I'm talking just like you got people over, you got, like you say, kids are doing whatever, the adults, you're just like, my thing is like,
I mean, literally burgers and dogs is pretty like
the go-to, but I'm way out bigger on the burgers, but I'm telling you, man, bratwurst are like low-key. You threw on some, like I threw on some, so I grilled out some steak last night for me and Brittany, threw on a hot dog for Isla. But then I threw on a couple jalapeno cheddar bratwurst. Now I didn't eat those with my dinner, right? We did the standard dinner. Her and I
mean,
did.
it sounds like you're on the same. It's like, listen,
Yeah.
sausage is underrated goat.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like threw those on.
I'll go one step further. I'll go one step further here. If you're not Isla, if you're not a literal child, why are you eating a hot dog at a barbecue?
It is weird. That's why. That's the reason I said burgers is
Sausage
good.
over hot dog.
Yeah,
Like, it's not even like.
that's what I'm saying. If you're an adult and you
wanna,
have sausage
like,
or
if
brats,
I get there and they're like, "Hey, a little warm up. You want a hot dog?" I go, "Hold on." But listen, hold on. Before I answer your "Do I want a hot dog?" question, are sausages in the mix here? I don't want to eat a hot dog.
well,
I hate to go full Sebastian Maniscalco, but is sausages around the corner here? I'm not trying to eat a hot dog if all of a sudden you're coming around with a sweet, hot Italian.
Well, that's the only reason I'm bringing this up is they opened the pool. I live in an HOA, so there's a community pool, and they opened the pool. They always do Memorial Weekend. It wasn't warm enough, but like they opened it, but whatever. It's not heated, so God knows how cold that water is. But they did a little grill out for the residents. I was like, oh, okay. Let's do a little grill out. The pool, and then, they have a little tennis court there and a basketball hoop. So I was like, I can go up there. She can a little playground for the kids. I was like, this will be fun. Her and I'll go up there. It's funny you bring up the hot dog thing. I go up there. That's all old people who run the HOA. But I'm like, wait a second. Hot dogs is what we're offering? It was. I don't know. There's a lot of kids, but there's still a lot of adults. It was hot dogs was the main course. Chips and candy, or chips and cookies and like Cheetos and that type of shit. I'm like nothing, just hot dogs.
Well, and listen, again, I am very famously not a hot dog. I literally won't have a hot dog unless I'm at a ballpark, and then even then, it's like I'm not having a hot dog at Citi Field. I might have a hot dog at Dodger Stadium. I might have a hot dog if I'm randomly in fucking the Arizona ballpark or whatever. But that's kind of like the only time hot dogs are. It's like, hey, we're just.
But and I had one, by the way. I was like, okay, yeah. I'm hungry. She's having one, but I was
we're cooking for 70. I'm not trying to take medium rare. Who likes a burger? What way? Cheese?
I get it. I was
cheese,
annoyed.
Hot dog.
But to your point too, it's like, okay, guys, hit up Sam's or Costco and throw on some sausage, some like they're not that expensive, man. Come on. Like don't be doing the hot dogs.
Well, listen, I think that's
and then the burnt hot dogs I've never understood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
They're already cooked. They're cooked when you get them.
Why do some people like who are these people? Who are you out there who like them extra charred?
My thing is I don't mind them extra charred because I'm like, I don't even want to be eating this. So like make it look like not a hot dog for me. But yeah, listen, I think hot dogs, sausage, it's funny because this is it's a similar delivery method system with the bun. You're going mustard, it's a similar thing. Mustard, onions, kind of like they're like very close.
Relish,
but hot dogs grossly overrated, sausages grossly underrated, and both are why. Hot dogs are overrated because why don't you just have a sausage? And sausages are underrated because, like, you serve me a hot dog when this fucking hot Italian or this cheddar jalapeno brat is just there. It also looks like a dick. What are we doing here?
Now, the one caveat is a Costco hot dog.
I've never had one.
For me.
Never had one. Never will.
I'm like, it's $1.50.
Yeah.
It comes with a drink, and it's a big old boy, a big old Johnson. And I'm like,
honestly, sometimes I was gonna say the exception is the Mexican street dog.
Yes, the Mexican street. Yeah, the street vendors.
Once you have a hot dog that's wrapped in bacon
and loaded with onions and mustard and mayo.
Back.
Yeah,
are you just raw dicking me?
Yeah,
but also, and this is true. Like, we had hot dogs in like the Prano family freezer, But it was literally there. It was like a break in case of emergency pack of like fucking 20 dogs. Whereas like, oh, we got a 5-year-old here. Hey, we got a 5-year-old. We got a 5-year-old non-Italian 5-year-old. He doesn't want a fucking hot Italian.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to break out the hot dogs.
exactly.
Sausage, burgers, steak salad, corn, fixins. That's your run of show if you're just throwing on a proper fucking barbecue.
I think you're right.
You want a burger while you're running around? And then it's like, all right, everybody settle down. Come get your plates, sit down, get a fucking knife and fork. You're having a steak, get a little salad, grab a piece of corn, the tin-foiled corn on the cob.
Now I'm hungry, man.
Yeah.
Let's fucking wrap this up. Let's make it short.
Can we get a Butcher Box sponsorship back? What's going on here?
I mean,
Yo, Butcher Box. What's going on?
Where you at? Where you at, B?
Butcher Box. We need the hot dog haters pack. Free cheddar bratwursts with every order for a year. The Dirty Sports Special. You can choose promo code Ruther or promo code Prano, where you get either hot Italian sausage or cheddar jalapeno bratwursts free with every order.
Love it. Where you at, Butcher Box? Clearly I still don't have a hotline number. I know I keep saying that. I'm gonna get one this week for real, guys. For real. I'm gonna get one. You can have a line to call.
Because I know Pacers fans are like, where the fuck is this hotline? It's gonna be a 2-2 series before you get to make your call again.
Well, we'll see. But we're available at the Dirty Sports at Andy Ruther.
I'm at Joe Prano on all social media, joeprano.com for shows. If you're in the Southern California area, going to the home base of one of our friends of the show, sponsors of the show for a minute, Minimal Golf Club in Redondo this Thursday for another one of the Minimal Golf Club comedy nights. It's super fun. They always do free drinks. I think this one, it might be a free rosé lemonade.
Oh, shit.
They have golf sims. There's always like weed fucking everywhere and free beers. And they always pack it full of Miller Lite with me, which for me, which I love. They're always like, also they have a proper like deli fridge in there. They're always like, Joe, just so you know, bottom shelf full of Miller Lite for you, which I love. I love our good friends at Minimal. If you need a new golf bag, check out Minimal, or just come to the club. Or if you're in the Los Angeles area and you want to hit some golf balls, go to the Minimal Golf Club. But if you want to see some comedy, come there on Thursday night. We had a great lineup and more shows to come. Been adding stuff to my calendar a lot recently. So joeprano.com, 4 shows.
Word. All right, guys, that's our show. Enjoy the day off. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.